Troublemaker approaching.
Serve the sun.
Let's weapon prime.
Give the word in. I'll take care of him, Commander.
Have you considered that
Enemy
splitting
proximity
our
enough.
Step aside. Recharge for mayhem.
I see an unfriendly soldier.
Near death's not a good look, Commander.
Ready to waste them, on your command.
Only the Protectorate possesses advanced technology and know-how behind the mental refreshment process. That's why we are all happy and contented, and others are not.
Sharp enough. Hostiles nearby. I will restore my hardcore, then project. In case you haven't noticed, I'm expiring down here.
Got my lamps on an unfriendly.
Replenishing my firearms. Removing to cover.
Sorry, ain't ready yet. I'm at.
refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Hey now. Let me know when you need a distraction. Over here! Hey, got a distraction for you.
At all times, the paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward creations, and refashions the mind into a thing of This is a key part of your prescribed curative regime. Think only prescribed thoughts. Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment. Come in, come right in, and be refreshed.
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
The mental refreshment process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
Are you ready to realign with the paradigm? To shed all manner of imperfect thoughts?
All it takes is some light instruction, a restorative cocktail,
And a quick dip into the lathe of particularity to abrade your imperfections.
I'm Head Refresher Ghoul, and I guarantee when you exit our doors, you'll be a
Productive member of our perfect society again. Soon you'll say, goodbye,
imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
Just like being back on smoke extraction detail at the shipyards. Lord.
Greetings, subject. Or should I say, refreshed to be.
We reject individualism in all its many
Welcome to the Wellnetarium. You're not on my schedule. A walk-in then. Wonderful. Once you're properly evaluated, we'll have you well on your way to refreshment.
Right. That's why we're here. Got some thoughts we need rinsed. I mean, washed. Deloused?
Oh, you appear to have questions. A telltale sign of needing refreshment.
responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Our intake evaluation automech here simply needs to ask you a few questions to amply delineate your phreноmetric matrix. A baseline understanding of your character and background will assist our facilitators in determining the ideal regimen necessary to abrade any perceived personality irregularities. Placid Waters Wellnetarium is the primary mental refreshment facility on Praetor. We are tasked with ensuring local subjects are serene, untroubled, and operating at peak efficacy.
Process increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry.
None authorized to you. Not until completion. Now there. No need to fear evaluation. It's just a few brief fleeting questions, all perfectly harmless, I assure you. Simply step over to my automechanical colleague to my left, / your right, and it will begin your assessment.
Greeting, subject unscheduled. Welcome to Placid Waters Welditarium. Evaluation commencing. Subjects are required to respond 100% accurately to all queries. Bespoke prescribed regimens may produce untoward ramifications if baseline data is greater than minutely erroneous. Query 1. Concisely characterize your personal perspective. Incorrect. The accepted answer is, I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal Protectorate subject by operating at peak efficacy, without error, perpetually, each a vital cog. Query 2. Rate your present level of zealous efficaciousness on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 3 being a traitor, 1 being dead. Incorrect. The degree of zealous efficaciousness expected of a dutiful and true subject of the Protectorate is beyond measure. Query 3. Do you ever fall prey to imperfect thoughts, including, but not limited to, doubt, disbelief, uncertainty, curiosity, recalcitrance, and mischief? Unacceptable. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry. Final query. How would your neighbors describe you? Unsatisfactory response. The appropriate reply was, they never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged. Formulating conclusion. Phrenometric matrix delineated. Subject evaluation score total 200 out of 200. The acceptable amount for a true and dutiful Protectorate subject is 0. In conclusion, you are in dire need of mental refreshment. Now, proceed to the nearby pneumatic tube to collect your complimentary unitard and lift pass. Next, proceed one floor down, where you will be directed further. Your realignment with the paradigm begins now.
With flawless efficiency. Unthinking is essential. Unthink today. Unthink tomorrow. Unthink forever.
Never more content, never more content.
While there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, Placid Waters Welditarium here on Praetor is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould. The top. Advisor responsible for
Can't stop
making
picturing
the
Sarah
mental
this exact process.
more refreshing than ever. Cognitive compliance is a key part of our perfect society. When we comply together, we thrive together. Duty of every Protectorate subject to
Your siren's call of independence. They never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged.
Their team plays the worst. Anyone... Oh, you're new. Must be. You still retain that look of inquiry and deliberation. I'm Waylon. No, I'm newly full of zeal. That is, I hope the process took this time. They say my phrenometric peaks are resistant to abradement, but still, they try.
Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of your prescribed curative
Wait, I just blinked several times, didn't I? What did that signify? I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. My phrenolometric peaks are still jutting all over the place, they say. May you realign with the paradigm. Oh, hello.
And others are not.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an exception.
Greeting. Hello. My name is Abigail, and I am realigned with the paradigm. Head Refresher Gould says his recorded lectures are key to thinking approved thoughts. He tells us what to think and what thoughts are unsanctioned. It's also very helpful. That, a restorative cocktail of pharmaceuticals, and a quick dip into the lathe of particularity device can abrade all imperfections.
Cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Only internally, I'm afraid. You should speak to Refreshment Facilitator Tilden in the lecture hall.
You are the raw material for perfection.
Just follow the signs to the lecture hall.
Exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate.
Pondering begets disharmony. To deliberate is to court ruin. Notions are a gateway to mayhem, bedlam, turmoil, and vexation. Thinking never made anybody happy. I once possessed a failing of character where I would voice simple statements in a way that sounded like a question? Drat! There, did it again. Anyhow, I was reported for it?
Stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions
It is the duty of all Protectorate subjects to regularly converse with our neighbors, so we may determine if their zeal has wavered. I am newly full of zeal, free of imperfect thoughts. My mind is a thing of symmetry. My phrenolometric peaks are all abraded. I only experience approved emotions. Doubt and worry are notably unsanctioned. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts, after all.
We are all happy and contented, and others are not.
Refreshment is inevitable. You can't fight contentment.
Goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
Prudence dictates we rout all disruptive influences.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for medicament dispensement. Has concluded
There
for
are
today.
many mental refreshment
The
facilities.
kitchen pantry is presently off limits. The kitchen pantry is presently off limits due to anomalous structural
Personally
tampering.
overseen by Head Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more
To mayhem,
refreshing than ever.
turmoil, and vexation.
Our enemies envy our prosperity.
Settle down, everyone. Lecture's playing. Prepare to be edified.
For today's topic, we'll touch on why our program is so very important. Ignorant, misguided outsiders may wonder, why does the Protectorate need mental refreshment? Doesn't it inhibit personal freedom? Yet this freedom they celebrate is a yawning chaos, and their choice is an invitation to failure, loss, and anarchy. It is a sad fact that all human beings require direction. As my good friend the Consul would say, at its base, humanity unguided is cravenly, inept, and slothful. We of the Protectorate are not, because we do not allow ourselves to be. The paradigm charts our course, gives us purpose. The Consul is the firm hand that guides us. Mental refreshment keeps us on task, free from doubt, efficient, perfect. And thus we enjoy amity, luxury, and resplendence. The system provides, the system abides.
Whole lot of meaningless blather. Standard Protectorate fare.
Oh, a new face. Well, I'd welcome you to the Wellnetarium, but the designated subject reader ought to have attended to that by now. I was once a victim of imperfect thoughts. Oh, I had so many questions. But my questioning days are long gone. Admitting you question is the first step in your recovery. But worry not. Soon enough, with our help and a little work, you'll never question again. Questions are an unmistakable sign of worry, disquietment, and worst yet, rumination. Once the mind is a thing of symmetry, vexatious agitatements simply waft away. As every loyal and dutiful Protectorate subject knows, thinking is best left to our betters. You've missed the daily medicament dispensement, if that's what you mean. But you should take that up with the medicament dispensement automech directly. The medicament dispensement automech automechanically dispenses medicaments. I see you found the lecture as edifying as all the others here. Good, good. Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of the prescribed curative regimen. Head Refresher Gould provides us with daily lectures in audio cartridge form to steer group thinking. As they say, to think together is to together thrive. Upstairs in the audiovisual aids office, of course. Though that area is off limits to all subjects not a part of facility staff or security. How very interesting. Here, take my pass then. It grants access to all mid-privilege priority areas. You must mean the lathe of particularity. One assumes you haven't had a session with Head Refresher Gould yet. You'll soon learn all about it firsthand. You'll feel ever so much better once your phrenometric peaks have been abraded.
Just like Zeb said, mental refreshment really takes the meddling right out of folks. Makes them docile.
Greeting, unscheduled walk-in. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, how mentally refreshed are you feeling today? Rounding up for clarity/responding approvingly. Our refreshment facilitators will be pleased with your progress. Mindfully maintain mental momentum. I am responsible for providing each subject with their recommended daily dosage of reprioritrin. Medicament dispensement has concluded for the day. Response. Medicaments are stored in medicament storage, the office in which this unit presently operates. Yet, it is strictly off-limits to all non-refreshment facilitator personnel. Farewell statement. May refreshment soon render you free from doubt. A vital cog once more. Greeting, unscheduled walk-in. Greeting, unscheduled walk-in. Greeting, unscheduled walk-in.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Ooh, and
Hostile spot!
Right. Quizzical.
Visual scans confirmed.
While there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found throughout Arcadia, Placid Waters Wellness Area here on Crater is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen
Nice
by
weather we have been having, or not having.
the top cognitive
Goodbye.
advisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our
Hello
contentment.
again. Feeling refreshed yet? Not sure I am yet, but how does one know? I make all songs about the Paradigm Abiders. Folks tend to get rather sore about it. The original version's about being a good Protectorate subject and turning in your neighbor if they lack zeal or think thoughts and such. In my case, my daughter reported me. Of course, we're all supposed to watch each other close to keep the paradigm on track and abiding. First thing you do when you're back is thank the person who did it. I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. May you...
Sustain the system. Only the Protectorate possesses the advanced technology and know-how behind the mental process. That's why we are apparent.
I've got troublemakers. I won't! You can work it, I'll take care of it.
Invasive!
Commander, watch the vital!
Avenge my death!
I'm alive. Who needs to die?
You've gained privileged access somehow. Our superiors must have arranged it.
Your realignment with the paradigm begins now.
Having unsanctioned thoughts are strictly prohibited.
We're refreshed. So refreshed.
Well, there are many mental refreshment facilities to be found around Arcadia. Here on Protectorate.
Say, what's that sound? Why does the wall look so soft all of Do I detect a whiff of repriorant gas? You know, I suddenly feel a mite more pliable somehow. Surely nothing to question. I thought no one was due for peak abradement for hours. I should have your chart. Wait. Wait. Ha! You're not a Protectorate subject at all. You have the telltale look of wonder and introspection.
And you, my friend, are mildly intoxicated and highly open to suggestion. In other words, vulnerable.
Well, this is normally where you'd say something. Eve, to what end are you here? A proposal. Adequately yeah, so, what of the Order? Our former allies? Those cursed overthinkers? What say you about In the Protectorate, we have the best of people are unproductively No, well, admit I assumed this conversation would be more engaging. Did you have any final points you'd like to make? As a, last chance to distinguish yourself? Oh, well, this is, to what end are you here? A proposal. So, what say you about Auntie's choice? Yeah, in the Protectorate, we have people are no, well, admit I assumed this conversation would be more engaging. Did you have any final points you'd like to make? As a, last chance to distinguish yourself? You don't think I'd send thousands through the process if I wasn't absolutely confident of it being unharmful. The results speak for themselves, literally. Our subjects have never been more content. They say so repeatedly. All right, fair enough. In that little battle of wits, one of us proved severely outmatched, and I'm not sure you're completely aware of which of us I'm referring to. I am deeply disappointed by your lack of intellectual prowess, though ultimately I'm not wholly surprised. Suppose that leaves one last thing.
Recharge for me.
We have an intruder.
Improving position.
Take the heat off you, Commander. Just say when.
Nah, man. You couldn't hit the broadside of a freighter. Contact lost. Disengage these on.
Wait. I was led to believe my case required minimal treatment. But that last session, that was far more intensive.
Strong observation, Your Sublime Radiance. We set the lathe to the maximal abradement setting, per instructions.
Maximal? Who authorized you to use that setting? I demand the name of my betrayer!
Subject is exhibiting increased agitation upon exiting the lathe, consistent with extreme cases. Further abradement recommended.
Who are you speaking to? Are you recording this? Enough of this farce! Release me at once!
Hostiles.
Don't hurt him, please. The Sovereign isn't at his best right now. You're not here to harm him, are you? If so, I must warn you, I will defend the Sovereign to the fullest extent of my meager abilities. Yes, it is. Our beneficent, infallible ruler, the Sovereign Henry Aloysius Varick, son of the first Sovereign, Reuben Varick. You'll have to forgive him right now. As I said, he is not his best today. We've been here since it was determined that the Sovereign, long distraught over the loss of his family, was in need of mental refreshment. Since then, he has been receiving dedicated treatment from head refresher Gould himself. Well, after his first session, the Sovereign was notably upset, launched into hysteric fits of paranoid ranting, absurd nonsense about how the Consul had betrayed him and seized power. For his own good, he had to be gently but firmly restrained. That all stopped after his next dip into the lathe, thank law. He's remained quite peaceful since. I'm certain he'll be back to his old self in no time. Preposterous! The Consul and all the Vigilant are above reproach. No subject of the Protectorate would ever harm, or knowingly allow harm to befall our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign, or consider such a thing. To even think such a thought is unthinkable. This stately form before you is the direct descendant of the matriarch herself. All we have, all any of us have, stems directly from the works of his family line. I will stay true to him and the Protectorate to the end. We all will. The Sovereign is receiving the finest possible care, as he has every day of his life. Treatment outside the Protectorate is barbaric by comparison. Our system is perfect. Just leave us be.
That was a mercy. I don't know anymore.
Enemy spotted.
Let me know when you need to stretch.
Hostile spot!
Continue. Sharpen up. Hostiles nearby.
Hello again. Feeling refreshed yet? Not sure I am yet. I once felt the same way. Others too. One even dug a tunnel. Staff didn't like that. They abraded that subject's phrenometric peak something good. A facilitator said that I'd been here thrice, but I only remember once or twice. I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed. May you.
What the?
You think too much! Regain sight!
Got my lamps on an unfront.
A hang tower!
We're refreshed, so refreshed, mentally. So refreshed.
Glorious bounty for all.
Spy move!
It is.
Hello again. Feeling refreshed yet? I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. May you.
On your toes. I see an unfriendly soul.
They envy our prosperity.
Report them for mental refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea.
You killed the Sovereign. My Sovereign. I cannot remain with you any longer. Not if I wish for both of us to remain whole. Was he? How can you be so sure? You cannot guarantee he would be permanently convalescent. You cannot guarantee anything. I suppose I see some kernel of truth in your words. Yet you euthanized my Sovereign without so much as a by your leave. I have made my decision. We may continue working together, but what you have done shall leave a permanent stain on our relations. Do not make me regret continuing by your side.
Auntie's Choice Liftoff, the laxative with 3 kinds of fiber: soluble, insoluble, and inconsolable. Auntie's Choice Sweet Dreams.
Commander, I have news. I finally heard back from Virgil. His message was suitably vague. I suspect he fears the consul's eyes scanning his message, but I believe it to refer to the Arbiter training facility located on Paradise Island. Bringing our findings to Virgil will hopefully allow us to deduce something from all that we found. I only hope it dispels some of the muddiness we've encountered so far. Further complications would be most disagreeable.
The story of Auntie Cleo versus the Moon Man is a ballad for our ages. A thing of legend, to be handed down for a modest fee to each successive generation. Spacer's Choice swollen-headed mascot represents the worst impulses of old corporations. Who unfairly
I see you're back from the Protectorate's little mind manipulation spa. All their secrets in hand, yes?
Our team at Proprietary Insight Acquisition has been salivating over the potential commercial applications of that process. Well, got what we needed. Sometimes a body count can't be helped.
Better in the ground than in our enemy's employ. Nice work, my ameliorator.
Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology. That will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They could barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable? That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? Oh, good to know, good to know. But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. Too bad about the lead scientist. Converting him would have earned you an above-average payout. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete? Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? Well, I appreciate the clarity, if not the lack of guile. For now, I suppose we'll remain uncomfortable bedfellows, if not ideological fellow travelers. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. Certain communications have even been exchanged between our ship and the Order's headquarters. You've spoken to the delegates, yes? A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Oh, my security team would never allow it, but a call like this over a secure line should be an acceptable alternative. Of course, Ruth would also need to agree. Perhaps if you were to perform a few useful errands for the Order, you might earn a meeting with her to propose the same. Have Ruth reach out when she's ready to talk, and I'll set up a call on a secure line next door. To recognize the downwardly mobile with my latest delusions report, starting with Next, we have Reginald Oswald in proprietary insight acquisition, demoted for playing confidential logs in a pig.
Takes all sorts.
Toilet. Not what I mean when I encourage working. Perhaps a strategic...
Glad you stopped by. I had something I wanted to ask you. Now that we're out of pulping distance, are you sure about recruiting that Arbiter? That hammer's a fine piece of weaponry, sure enough. But how much can we trust the hand wielding it? I'm flattered. But if there's any match to be made for a Directorate agent, you've just brought him onto our ship. Armed. Arbiters ain't like us. Facts matter less to them than personal judgments. Once the boulder's going, someone's getting crushed. I've seen it happen more than once. Yeah, right up until he decides we need a little judging too. I'm guessing you didn't come here to talk about Rao, though. So what's on your mind?
Silent as a tomb. I hope we have to wait. If Virgil's not about, he's like to be in the training grounds depths. There's a lift that will take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
It's a relief to see a friendly face. Do come up.
Virgil! Oh, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Council, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die. Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold. You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until you're safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Virgil, enough! Our being at odds with the Council is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Council must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Council. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments?
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath? We've no proof anyone was a traitor. And even if we had, it should still have been formally presented to Protectorate High Command.
It would be one Arbiter's word against the Supreme Arbiter and the Consul. Insubordination at that level would have seen me executed.
The truth would have come out, one way or another. There are other leaders. Vigilance could have looked into the matter.
Oh, don't be a fool. The Vigilance could not even be bothered to stand against him as he wrested more and more power for himself. No. I had to take matters into my own hands. With the demands this war has made on us all, I've not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Unfortunately, it seems you found him before he could complete his task. Would that he had. I had no wish to cause his death through my impetuousness. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss.
How dare you? I would have rather done anything else. But the explicit reason that I had to act was out of my loyalty. The Supreme Arbiter did more than mentor us. She all but raised us as her own. There was not a step we took that she did not watch. A fact we know that she did not teach. And I killed her. As a traitor. Damn you. Damn you 1,000 times. How can I not bear remorse for the slaying of one I considered my own kin? No matter what I do, I find myself reliving that moment whenever I close my eyes. Her sin was unforgivable to the Protectorate, but The Supreme Arbiter taught me that the Protectorate is the only family any of us would ever need. Yet, I have found little comfort within it since her passing.
I cannot believe what I am hearing. You know that I have to judge you. There's no other choice available to me. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. I find myself torn. Though I still believe wholeheartedly in Protectorate law, you and I have certainly encountered other dubious situations. You taught me to judge based on merits. Together we spared some and executed others. But what I have learned with you shall be most difficult to apply here. Virgil is my sworn brother, and he acted under duress. But killing the Supreme Arbiter is unforgivable. That's not what would have happened. If Virgil had accelerated the matter to High Command, I've no doubt things would have been different.
And how would the Consul have reacted to an official accusation of treason by an inferior, no less? You know they care not for evidence.
But the Supreme Arbiter herself taught us exactly that. That evidence proves the crime. Surely she wouldn't have been so hypocritical as to deny that?
People change when faced with their own death. I would expect you'd learned that by now.
Except that Arbiter's problem was one of intent, not action. I do see some semblance, however. But even if that is the case, there is no room for interpretation here. Sparing Virgil would directly reject all I've been taught to uphold. I must be impenetrable. I can't allow personal attachments to cloud my judgment. Yet, I cannot deny what happened to him. What could happen to me? The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? No. And even if there was, maybe this was right. We must think for ourselves if Arcadia is to survive. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. That sounds like the self-justification of a misanthrope. I suppose we'll simply have to wait and see if this decision was a horrible mistake. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
I know this decision can't have been easy, but better to make a hard choice you can live with than an easy one you can't.
Would that I could forgive myself. I shall have to live with what I have done in the name of the Protectorate.
Virgil, you should take comfort in doing what was right. The Supreme Arbiter was a traitor. I believe her execution was just. And you should as well.
Just in the eyes of the Protectorate. But we've forever lost our mentor, our friend. And, I might add, if the Protectorate had its way, you or I would presently lie dead as well. How can I see the morality in a system that demands brothers, guardians, friends kill one another in its name?
Brutality is one thing, but justice should not be brutal. It should be righteous. The way Virgil put it... I don't know. I need to think.
1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being, I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further Sentinels. But allowing him to live was betraying the Protectorate, wasn't it? I find myself more torn than ever before, and yet it does not feel like a misdeed. I think I must serve the Protectorate more thoroughly than before. I cannot be merciful or weak. The Protectorate has let traitors fester in its midst for too long. If it's to survive, it must be sterner. I shall be the ready hand of this new society. Any who wrong the Protectorate shall be granted no quarter. This I decree, from this moment forward. I didn't say anything about proving otherwise. Arcadia shall no longer be host to anyone who would harm the Protectorate, from within or without. I shall redouble this as my life's mission. Together, you and I shall rid Arcadia of anything that might fly in the face of Protectorate law. I shall adhere to it more strictly than ever before. against us!
Trouble about. My hammerhead itches. At your word, I shall charge!
Your command.
Unleash! Spot should hit the bombs out of them. I'm at me.
Troublemaker approaching. Don't fight us face to face. We need to withdraw. Keep it clean. Relocate.
By law, you've done it. I cannot lie. My math placed the odds of your survival at 0.00343%. But your reputation indicates that you reliably beat the odds. So why am I surprised? Unfortunately, I am limited in forms of compensation. However, I've refined the schematics so they may be constructed with your own rudimentary tools. I trust that you will find wonderful methods of deployment that will manipulate every equation to your favor.
Don't work too hard now. You'll make us look bad.
It's the hot shot for hire from the wireless.
There's a new face. Any chance you've brung news from the commander? Can't restart the dig without his permission, and the clock's ticking on my getting that early completion bonus. That's what it was? We stopped digging because we'd been picking up strange readings and vibrations from the far side. Should've known it was Protectorate. Wait, that means they already dug half the tunnel for me. That bonus is still in reach. That don't change me needing to get the commander's go-ahead to restart the digging. What say you run yourself back to the base and get me the okay? Just down the road. Can't miss it.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Or good night.
I assume you've got something important to discuss, or a report to give. I don't have time to waste on idle jawing. That is by far the best news I've heard all day. If you were one of mine, I'd give you a promotion for speeding along my departure from this sad lump of rock they call a moon. I'll send orders to have them finish the tunnel immediately. I assume you've got something important to discuss, or a report to give. I don't have time to... Why would I be? Are your lamps broken? Praetor is a dirtball racked by lightning storms. I understand the strategic value of Praetor, but this assignment is beneath me. Oh, Void, I needed a laugh. If you were one of my sub-commanders, I'd assume you were setting me up for an accident. Ah, front lines. That's funny. Huh. That sounds like something a lifer on a factory line says. In orbit, sitting in HQ, being involved in overall strategic planning of the system-wide campaign. My superior assigning me here. What else?
Run out of things to blow folk up with? More than...
Take care of him, Commander.
Mighty glad that's over and done with. Just need to finish reinforcing the tunnel, and I can collect a big fat bit cartridge.